Oh, I don't have any moderation. Anyway, I'm gonna start off making some coffee right now. Um, oh, anyway, making some coffee. Gonna get ready to go walk off this house to see what I need to get done today. Um, yeah, just start with coffee. This is my first live on this homestead off-griding journey. Don't know how long I'll be on, but probably get off before the wife gets home for her lunch break. So, yeah, just making some coffee real quick. There we go. So I did a test live video, and I think it was about 3 minutes before viewers started coming in, or I started hitting the algorithm or whatever the case is. But this is eyeballs. It's gonna be a long day. As soon as I get a viewer or two, then I start acting like I know what I'm doing. Oh, and I can just turn the screen around. That's good. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your private and abide by community guidelines. Oh, I was just reading the live thing. Making some coffee right now, and then I'm getting ready to walk out and get up on the roof and see how many fit. I don't know what fit means. JDKEO. Anyway, yeah, just making some coffee real quick. Let's show you. Nothing special. Now I'm gonna get ready to head up on the roof and look at the solar panels so I can investigate and see what tools I need to take these solar panels off the roof. Because we own the solar panels and we're selling the house. We need those. I don't know what the letters mean, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna head outside right now, get the ladder set up, climb up on the roof, go inspect these solar panels, see what tools I need. Then I'll head back, and when I get back in the house, I'll gather up the tools, set up the game plan. Those of you that are here that are still watching, I'm getting ready to go off grid, sell my house in California. Buying some property in Oregon. Should be out of this house and on the property by the 10th of next month. Been looking for the last couple days to buy a ladder. I'm not trying to buy one brand new because they're pretty expensive. Couldn't find one, so I had to borrow one from the neighbor. And yeah, so right now, just gonna head up on the roof. And welcome. This is my first live. My first live with this direction of my channel. I used to think I was going to be a video gamer or something, but it never went very well. Sorry about all the racket. I'm trying to set up the ladder so I can safely get up on this roof. Little intimidated by heights too, so not scared of heights, but I think just like anybody else, I'm scared of falling. And because I'm home alone, if I fall, I don't have anybody to come rescue me. Alright, I'm gonna sit you guys down for just sure. Sit you guys down for a second so I can get up on the climb up on the roof. Ooh, I am not liking this position because I don't have anywhere to. Let me adjust this ladder so it's in the corner. So I have two angles to hold on to. All right, there we go. A little bit better. Anyway, thank you for the likes and those that are hanging out for a minute. I'm gonna set you down in just a second. Oh yeah, this was much better than where I was at. Oh, there we go. Sorry about all the funky movement with the phone, but I gotta get up on this roof. There we go. So, turn the camera around so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So these are the solar panels I gotta take off. There's 28 of them. Alright, so I'm gonna need a socket. Looks like 3/8 probably. I'll just bring a couple up. So socket driver. It's that Phillips screwdriver. Yeah, so I gotta take all these down today. Well, I'm not gonna get them all down today because I'm doing this by myself. Whew. I don't even know where I'm gonna start. And then I gotta see what I'm gonna do because they're gonna redo the roof. The roof is pretty nasty. When we moved in, it did not look this bad. We've been here 6 years, but guys came up and looked, and there's like cracks and stuff here, and then the shingles are pretty bad. The guy that came up here and showed me that once you start seeing this discoloring, and then there's spots. I don't see them right off the back where you can see that the sand is, or the grit is completely off the shingles. And wow, this is ugly. I'm not a roofer by chance. I'll be able to get one of my son's balls off the roof. So anyway, there's 4 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Hold up. It's only supposed to be 28 up here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. There's 35 panels up here. The map on my board says 28. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, so I'm on the roof. Sorry, I was counting. I'm up here because I have to take these solar panels off the roof. We own the solar panels, but we're selling the house. And we're going off grid, so we're going to use them in the future. But, yeah, so I'm supposed to... there's supposed to only be 28 up here, and I just counted 30, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So that's 35. Okay, so I was up here because I need to see what tools I needed to take these down. All right, so I know Phillips head for sure, torque wrench, some socket heads, see if there's anything special with these brackets. Again, looks like I can get in here with just a socket. Phillips, what about these braces? Phillips. Alright, so I should be good with a Phillips head set on the drill, and then I should be good with the torque wrench with sockets. I'm assuming these are 3/8, maybe ½ inch. Doesn't matter, I'll just bring up a set. Wow. Okay, 35. Let me go check the panel. I swear there's only supposed to be 28 on here. All right. Give me just a second. I'm gonna set the phone down so I can get onto the ladder. Um, there we go. Give me just a second. All right. Sorry about that. Now I'm on the ladder. I'm gonna go check. I just counted 35 panels. The irony is the contract was for 18. So we had a contract for 18 panels. And then the map on my thing says we have 28, and I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So the map says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 27, 28. So it shows 35 up there. Where did I get 28 from? Wow. Okay. So the map does show 35. Alright. I'm gonna go inside, go to the garage, grab some tools. Once I start working on the roof, I'll probably turn the live off because, as mentioned earlier, safety. And but I wanted to start this journey. Like I'm saying, I'm getting ready to go off grid. We'll be off. We're buying property in about 3 weeks. So, let me go ahead and grab my bag. Sorry, it's a little dark in here. Grab the drill. We will grab the other one, the torque driver, or whatever it's called. We'll grab 2 batteries. Let me see, do I have any other batteries up here? Alright, so I'll grab 4 batteries. Alright. Grab bits. So I have that Phillips head, so I'm not going to be coming in doing multiple trips. And then I need, what's the attachment on this piece? Right, that's the drill. This is, oh, it's a hex driver. Okay. So, I think these are too small. Those are too small. Man, where are all my sockets? Oh, there they are. We'll probably just bring this whole thing out. All right. So, as I was saying, I'm getting ready to go up on the roof to start taking these solar panels down. Yesterday was quite an adventure. We signed the documents for the property in Oregon, and then we got confirmation that the buyer on the house is still going to buy. So that's good. And then we had an opportunity to pick up an RV trailer at a really good price, and did not meet our criteria once we went and checked it out. It was very, very gross. And then on top of it, the guy didn't have the paperwork, so there was no way we were going to get that without the paperwork. And yeah. So how are you guys doing today? How's life treating everybody? Ooh, sorry, coffee. Oh, 35 panels. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to get them down taking them off is not a big deal, I'm sure, but getting them off the roof, I'll probably stack them in the back. There's like a lower slope in the back where I can stack them temporarily, and then maybe when the wife gets home, or her daughter's here when she wakes up. Not like they're the greatest helps in the world, because I don't want the girls doing any of the heavy lifting, but if they're not too heavy, maybe I can hand them down to them and they can lay them in the grass. So, but whew, yeah, that was not what I expected. 35 panels. Wow. That's good though, because we're gonna need them for sure. They are all turned off, so I'm not gonna be dealing with any electrical discharge or anything. They've been off for a while, so should be golden in there as far as dealing with any electrical stuff. But I'm gonna take the ones that are closest to the inverter and I'm gonna disconnect them from the inverter first. So that's my task for today. That, and then I have to clean up the back of the garage and start packing up the rest of my tools, get them all organized. Been doing a lot of packing and cleaning up here, and my tools are everywhere. Like, just look in the front yard. I got a pickaxe, a shovel, and a rake over there. I got a car jack right there, a chainsaw over there, shears. It's just a mess right now. But anyway, so how are you guys doing today? How's life treating everybody else? Obviously, if you're on here, you're either doom scrolling before you got to go to work, or it's a Friday. So what's everybody's Friday look like? I just took my son to school. We took the e-bike. That's his favorite way of going to the school. So we get on the oops, sorry about that. We get on the e-bike. He sits in a little trailer, and school's about a mile away. And he just sits back there, and drag him to the school, and he's the happiest kid in the world on that thing. You know, yelling at all his friends while we go by. And that way he's not on the bus. And he gets a nice little giggle on his way to school. He feels special, which is we always want for our children. We want them to feel special. Whew, a lot of work to do still, though. And let's see, so June 10th, it's kind of our deadline to get out here. So I'm down to about 20 days, a little less than 3 weeks. And I gotta get all the solar panels off, and I gotta get all this stuff packed up, and a bunch of this junk put in the dumpsters. You know, the cash buyer will take care of everything that we leave behind, but at the same time, not trying to leave too much behind, and want to make sure we're not leaving anything that we need. But so this is my first live for this direction of the channel. It's off-grid and homesteading. I don't expect anything spectacular out of this, but this is going to be my journey, and I'll be doing these daily once we get to the property and start doing the actual off-grid stuff. And you know, I'm going to be chickens. That's the first thing I'm getting. You know, the wife will tell you whenever I convince her to get online. All I care about is the chickens. I want chickens first. My son wants a puppy. You know, yeah, not a lot. Just 4 or 5 chickens, just enough to get started. But that's literally one of the first things we're getting when we get to the property is a handful of chickens. The property we're getting in Oregon was affected by the fire in 2023. So there's some dead trees that we got to take down. So that'll be like my initial first job while we map out the land to see where we're going to build our house. And it's going to start off just with a little tiny home, like a bedroom first. The bedroom will be temporary so that we're not violating any of the camping rules up there. While we set up to get permits for the build site and septic and sort out the water issues. But yeah, so my task today is the solar panels, packing. What else am I? Been working on started a worm farm. I don't know if anybody cares about worm farms, but 100% free. All I've been putting in there so far is just eggshells and coffee grounds. I've been messing with them a little too much, so I'm leaving them alone. trying to give them time to do their own thing. There's about 100 in there, or there was when I started about 3 weeks ago. They're supposed to double in population every 90 days. And no, it's just a practice farm. We're still going to take it with us, but one of those things we want to look into. The long-term goals are to become 100% self-sufficient. And, so worm garden's part of it for helping with the soil because of the worm castings and how they go through and compost a lot of your scraps. Chickens, that's another, it's a food source as well as composting. Small garden for basic necessities. And if the pacings bother you, I'm sorry, I'm a pacer. I don't know how to stand still or sit. Plan on eventually getting at least one beehive. I'm not going to be like a beekeeper in the aspect of that's going to be used for income. But the benefits of having a beehive just outweighs the cost of running a beehive. First, you can get a little bit of honey and beeswax and those things, but that's not even the benefit. The benefit is just 50% more yield on your food and anything else that you grow just by having a beehive and having them pollinate. With us working with subpar soil that we're going to compost and try to fix throughout the years, the beehive will help us also with the production. Increasing the amount of plant waste that we can use to help create compost that's going to turn into great soil, as well as increasing yield for more food to save us money in the long run. So beehive's huge on our list. Worm farm, chickens, eventually probably going to get into breeding rabbits. Not quite sure which direction we'll go with the rabbits, but they're an easy animal to breed and they don't take up a ton of space. We've also been looking at animal-wise. We've been looking at quail. Issue with quail is I don't know what the mark's like up there where we're going. So before we get into quail, we want to make sure that we have a system in place to where not only we can breed or raise the quail, but we have a source to get rid of them. Quail eggs alone, kind of a specialty thing. So it just depends on if we have an outlet to be able to source out the eggs or even source out baby quails to make it worth our time. But as far as space efficiency, they're probably one of the top animals to raise because they don't take up a ton of space. They're easy to care for. They lay eggs just as fast, if not faster, than most chickens. Eggs are good too, but there's other options there. So quail is something we're looking into. The wife wants to do some sort of aquaponics system. That's her little gimmick that she wants to go down. So I'm definitely going to support that too. She's doing water-grown plants and then some sort of fish that are in the water. So it's kind of like a full cycle of taking care of themselves, which I thought was cool. But one of the things I looked into but didn't pique my interest, but the wife is all in on it. So it's the direction we're going. Other than that, animal-wise, I don't think we're going to be breeding much. I'm definitely going to get a couple goats, but not for breeding. Just because, A, they're really great for land maintenance, as long as you're not getting them in your garden areas, of course. But they're more of a weed eater and like shrubbery, and they eat the stuff that you don't care about more than they do like grass or some of your vegetable plants, but we're not going to have them near the garden. But again, not getting the goats for breeding or raising for meat. We're getting them for the milk and in the land maintenance. And they're awesome animals. They're almost like a dog. So definitely looking into those. We probably don't have enough land to do any kind of cattle at all. Or pigs, and then sheep and goats. Again, we're not getting enough land, at least initially, to be able to do anything on larger scales. Everything's got to be kind of smaller scales. Getting 2.2 acres. So farm, chickens, garden chickens. It's the routes. Then building a tiny home. Gonna have to do a lot of leveling of the land. It's fairly flat, but flat wild land is not flat like for building. So it's gonna be a lot of leveling and grading and a lot of bartering because I don't have the large equipment for that. So I'm either gonna do a lot of backbreaking work or bartering because we're not going up there with a huge budget. This is gonna be pretty much work with what we can get. Yeah, so it's a pretty good little update on where I'm at. I've been here about 25 minutes or so. Anybody got any questions about anything? Like I said, the story's simple. We're selling our property in California, our house in the city, and we're moving off grid in less than 3 weeks. We're still working out all the details for everything because we're going to buy an RV. We have not bought the RV yet. We are under contract for the property in Oregon, but has not been paid for yet. And we're under contract for selling the house in California, which hasn't been finalized yet. So who knows what the next 3 weeks will look like. Everything looks good right now, but it's a wild transition. The house is a disaster, full of totes. The wife didn't want to do cardboard boxes. She wanted everything in totes. Easier to stack, easier to store, longer durability. We're going to buy it's a 10 by 12 metal shed that's like $250. Buy that for immediate storage. Maybe get 2 of them. It's cheaper than renting a storage unit for all our stuff that it's not going to fit in the RV and that we don't want to get rid of. So, but no, I appreciate you guys that stopped by and hung out. Appreciate the couple of likes I received. And again, if homesteading and off-gridding is anything that's in your wheelhouse, I'd appreciate the subscribers. You're getting in before I even get the property, so this is going to be literally an opportunity to witness the growth from day one. I had a nice little conversation yesterday discussing, the trap that society is common folk like myself that have worked 40 hours most of our lives, and no matter what, I'm still in debt, still paying paying for something else, like just wanting to get away from that, wanting to take care of myself. I want my money to be my money, not everybody else's. And that's the goal, is to get out of debt, to be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, take care of ourselves. The location we're going to is a great location for doing exactly that, and then still having access to civilization. We're 30 minutes from a decent sized town that has all your basic amenities, a Walmart, a Home Depot, but we're like 9 miles from the school, probably half a mile, if not more, to even the nearest other living person. So just a great location for that. And it's not the desert. That was my wife's big concern doing this journey. She didn't want to go to the desert, Arizona or Nevada. We're, I guess you'd call it the foothills. We're listed in high desert, but it's forested high desert. So it's an odd climate. I'm really looking forward to it. The wife's really super excited. Yeah. But if that's stuff that you're into, give me a sub. Again, I'm a YouTube noob. I don't expect any long form content. If you check my channel out, you'll see some old video game stuff from like 2 years ago. But that's not the direction of the channel. This is strictly going to be homesteading, off-gridding, self-sustaining, and doing it on an extremely tight budget. The YouTube journey for me is literally just documentation for myself, building a support group of people that care about what's going on, and receiving valid advice, and people questioning my decisions, so that I can make as few mistakes as possible on this journey, and then sharing it, and then being able to come back 3 months from now and say, oh, this is where I was at 3 months ago, and then coming back a year and going, oh, that's where we were a year ago to where we're at today, and being able to evaluate the progress and see what that progress looks like. So I'm not on here to try to be the next Mr. Beast or the Outdoor Boys, or I don't expect to become YouTube famous. This is more a journal for my journey, for myself, and hopefully to build a small community of people that care about this lifestyle, get some positive advice. I'm not opposed to someone talking some smack to me. I got pretty thick skin. I just want this to be fun and document the journey and share with some people. I have my circle of YouTube people that I follow and I watch, and hopefully maybe I fall into somebody else's circle. Again, like I said, I'm not on here to become YouTube famous. I'm on here selfishly for myself and my family to document and keep myself accountable, and hopefully build a small community. And it could be 50 people. 50 people that care, versus some of these YouTubers that have a million people, and you can't even keep up with that kind of content. I do read and respond to all my messages and my comments. Right now I'm doing just 2 to 3 shorts a day, and hopefully starting today I plan to do at least 1 live per day for I'm a little over 30 minutes now, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. If I got something serious on my chest, or I have a group that's asking some questions, and I don't have any dying tasks that have to be taken care of, maybe I can be on for a couple hours. But right now, I got the tools out, got the ladder out. The wife's gonna be coming home soon for her lunch, so I don't know how much longer I'm gonna stay on this live. But yeah, that's the journey today, is taking down them solar panels. And excuse me, I need another sip of my coffee. That was a little nasty. Those that weren't here, this is how I take my son to school. School's about a mile away, and he's 7, so this is the greatest thing in the world to him, is dad pulling him to school on an e-bike. He asked me the whole time, how fast are we going? The thing only goes like 20 miles an hour topped out, but I don't have to pedal and wear my body out, and he just loves it. Wow. This was an interesting experience. Like I said, this is my first live. I did do a test video, I don't know, maybe a month ago, just 5 minutes, just to see if I could even do live. There was no purpose for it besides, hey, I can actually do live content. That was it. And but today, this was more planned. Wanted to get half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour on, and basically clear my head of some of the stuff, because I'm an introvert. So talking to you guys is like just it's a release. It's an opportunity to get the stuff out of my head that I'm thinking about, and hear it, and regurgitating that information that's going through my head so much, and enjoying my thoughts instead of sitting on them, because that's where the stress builds up and the anxiety, and I gotta work a lot of that out. And that's another purpose for this channel, is just to have a format where I'm comfortable speaking my thoughts and listening to myself so that I can find ways to just clear the head a little bit, because there's so much going on, so many moving parts in this journey. Oh, that's what I got to figure out. So I went and got the tools, but my torque wrench, it's got the hex head for attaching, and I don't know if I can hook up my sockets to it, because I got sockets, but what I need what is that? Oh, that's a pump for a fish tank. What I need, because see, I think I broke, no, that ratchet works. What size is that? That's not 1/2 inch, that's 3/8 socket. Let's see if I don't think I have an attachment for that. And how do I not have an attachment for it? It's the one part, I haven't used this very much. I just always use the drill because it's just so much easier to use. And mostly all I've done is drill holes or remove or put in screws. But I got all those bolts up there that need to come off, and I don't think I want to do it by hand with the ratchets. And I thought I broke these ratchets working on the car. They seem sound. Alright, so I'll go up there, and what I'll do is I'll go back up on the roof, take my crescent wrench up there so I can see what size these bolts are. So when I go up there, I don't have to make multiple trips. Because there's 2 different bolts up there I need to take down. So give me a second. I'll come back up on the roof for a second. Set the phone down real quick. Hopefully it doesn't fall. All right. All right. So these are the solar panels I got to take off, and these are going to come off pretty easy though. Even if I have to use the ratchet, I think I'll be fine. All right, but I thought there was another bolt on these braces. Well, there is. What size is that? That looks like probably 1/2 inch though. Oh, maybe it is the same size. No, same size. So, alright. So, that's not too terrible. 35 panels though, that is not what I signed up for. I thought it was only 28. So that's the job for today. Let me see if I can get one of these bolts out with this crescent wrench real quick just to see, because this was not tight at all. Oh yeah, so this part's not going to be hard. This part should be easy. Oh yeah, and then I get right here and there. Finger tight with the spring. Okay, so that was pretty simple. It's all this wiring and stuff I gotta look at. And how am I gonna disconnect all that? Let's see if these are all loose like that though. I'm not gonna take this one out. I'm just gonna see if it's something, like am I gonna be up here breaking my back with if I use a ratchet. Oh yeah, that one was kinda snug. Alright, so that's not too bad. It's all this electrical running that I'm concerned with. And man, I did not realize they did this much. Like, they peeled up shingles to hook down brackets. They really did a very shoddy job. And then this is concerning. I don't even know what this is, because this is not normal. And then it's whoever shingled this roof. I mean, that's nasty. Like, that is not right. And then this doesn't make any sense. That bowing in the roof right there makes no sense. Not my problem anymore, though. But, like, there's just... And by the way, these panels been up here 6 years. But whatever... I don't know how they even passed my roof to put the panels up with that. I don't know if you guys can see that ripple in the roof. But it's there to there. But that back roof back there is where I can store all the panels. Getting some notifications from the community I'm going to. Alright, so maybe I'll walk around the back, go look at the inverter. Maybe I'll take the inverter down first. Alright, let me turn this around. Maybe I'll take the inverter down first, so I can make sure that there's no power connected, even though it's turned off. Problem is the backyard here's a jungle. We had our back neighbors had a pit bull. No issue with pit bulls at all. I love the dogs, but he was chained up on their fence a few years ago, and he chewed a hole through the fence that was really nasty. My son was like 4 or 5 at the time, so he was scared to death to go in the backyard. So when he couldn't go out there, we pretty much just abandoned the backyard because if he's not going to go out there and play, we had no reason to go out there, and it's so overgrown and disgusting. But all right, I got the crescent wrench set so I can find the right socket. Just curious. Well, it's definitely bigger than 10 millimeter. And we might have a winner. What is this? Oh, that's 14 millimeter. Let's find the... That's too small. 12 millimeter. Let's check out the 7/16. 7/16 is too small. So we'll do the 1/2. Okay, that makes sense. So 1/2. So 1/2 inch works. Alright, so I'll have that to take those out. I gotta go to the backyard. We're gonna walk through like a jungle and go look at this inverter. See if that's something I can take off the house. See if it's even something I can use. But if I can remove the inverter, that'll reduce any chance of any electrical issues. I'm not trying to get electrocuted or shocked or anything. But like I said, it's like a jungle back here. We got these tree heavens, which if you look them up, most people refer to them as tree of hell. And they are very invasive, horrible. Oh, am I even gonna be able to get to it? Whew. Like I said, it's like a jungle back here. Right, here's the inverter. Right, make sure that's completely off. Photovoltaic system, DC, just connect, maximum circuit, 27 amp, 480 volts, maximum rated output current, charge controller, DC. Okay. Warning, voltaic power source. So, I'm not sure how we're gonna, oh, sorry. Not sure how we're gonna deal with that. I'm gonna take this down. Alright, so I'll look into that. Ooh. Like I said, it's like a jungle out here. That sound you hear in the background, that thumping, those are our neighbors. For the longest, I don't know, I thought he had like a license plate machine or something, because it sounds like he's making license plates or something. But no, it's a spice machine, and he makes spices for his store, and it's kind of interesting. But he'll run that thing like for a week straight, not day and night, but throughout the day for about a week straight. And then he doesn't do it for like a month or two, so I don't know. The first couple times he did it, was like, oh, that's annoying. But after, you know, being neighbors for 6 years, you don't even notice it. But anyway, appreciate you guys. I'll let you go.